Alright, welcome back to my Evil Within Akumu difficulty guided walkthrough. We've made it to chapter 5 and in the previous chapter we were introduced to those invisible tentacle creatures. Well, this chapter starts off with a couple of them in a row, and the most effective way to deal with these creatures is to use flash bolts. That will immediately turn them visible, and since they are stunned you can stealth kill them. So that's an easy one-hit kill. And flash bolts don't cost too many trap parts either. So in general those are very effective tools. While shock bolts are even more useful in more instances, but they also cost more trap parts to make. Anyway, flash bolts will make the start of chapter 5 very manageable, as long as you know where to expect these creatures to turn up. Always look at the puddles on the floor or objects suddenly moving. That will show you the presence of one of these creatures.
Looks like I have to get down.
Okay, I will skip all the parts that don't have enemies. Those puzzles are the same on all difficulties. So after those we encounter Joseph, and he will help us out a bit in the next couple of sections. Now in this section there are a whole bunch of inactive enemies on hospital beds, and what I used to do is to lure them over to the oil on the ground and try to burn as much of them all at once. But there is a better way of going through this area. All you need to do is to silently kill the only enemy that is awake, and as long as you don't make any sound and sneak your way through, you can literally ignore all the other enemies, because none of them should wake up. Unfortunately, I had not yet upgraded my harpoon bolt yet, so even a headshot was not a one-hit kill.
This looks pretty sophisticated. Why would they put a bomb like this?
Do you think we can get past it?
Stand back. Let me see if I can disarm it.
Okay, a little further ahead we encounter Kidman, who is trapped and about to drown. Now this is a very tricky area, and I actually kind of messed up. I do make it through, but it was not according to plan. Because there are several waves of enemies, and if you go back up, the wave of enemies coming from above can all be killed at once using shock bolts. But I was way too late for that, unfortunately. So what makes this area so tough is first of all, of course, because there are so many enemies. But other than that, you need to protect Joseph as well. If he dies, it's game over. So it's best to stay a little bit close to him so that you can heal him if necessary. Fortunately, he can also help you out by killing enemies. I know this game represents Resident Evil 4's gameplay to an extent at least, but your partners are at least not completely fucking useless. Anyway, I can't guide you literally step by step through this chaos, but there are some things that you can do to help you out. Like when firing a shotgun, try to get as much enemies clustered together. That way you can knock a bunch of them down at once, and if you're lucky, you can burn them all. As you will see, I mainly rely on the shotgun. Now you can also use flashbolts, because they can stun almost the entire area at once. However, it's a bad idea to do a sneak kill on a stunned enemy, because you can get killed by a new enemy coming into the area who is therefore not stunned, because you are completely helpless when you're in that stab animation. As soon as that animation ends, a nearby enemy can kill you. The enemies holding dynamite only have to be knocked down, and they will probably explode before they get up. Of course, don't get near an enemy holding dynamite. So here I screwed up, because I hesitated. What I should have done is run back to the door and then first to the left, out of a sort of secret door in the wall so to say, a bunch of enemies come out and are clustered together. So that means that you can burn them all after stunning them with a shock bolt. And the same applies to the other side. But actually in a way this turned out better, because I just used a dynamite throwing enemy to kill the others for me. So that saved me some shock bolts. But again, that was a happy accident, not something I planned. But as you see, it does work, so it is actually a good tip.
Watch out! They've got dynamite!
Is that it?
No, that's not it, but when he says that, you know that enemies are going to come from the door on the left. So if you place a shock bolt there, you can burn them all at once. Unfortunately, I fucked up again, because as you see from how hesitant I wasn't sure if I remembered correctly that the enemies would spawn over there. By the way, you shouldn't be too hesitant to place a shock bolt somewhere anyway, because if an enemy doesn't activate it, you can pick it back up afterwards. Then there are a couple of more enemies with dynamite, and when they die you have reached the next checkpoint. Yeah, it's a tricky section, but it's especially the beginning that's hard. Once you've started clearing out enemies, it becomes a lot more manageable, even if you screw up like I did, as you could see.
Kidman needs help.
Damn it. That was close.
You better come have a look at this.
There's not too much to say about the underground passage. You can just run past the first few enemies, and then you will encounter 2 enemies hanging from the ceiling, and then 3 more enemies are fighting against Kidman and Joseph. And as you see, I brought an axe along with me, so that might come in handy.
Kidman, you there?
Okay, so these enemies you can just burn as soon as they drop down. Oh fuck, I was too slow. Well, good thing I brought the axe. The fuck? What the fuck? Okay, here we have an example of the game fucking you over for no good reason. I clearly hit him with the axe. That should have been a one-hit kill, but he didn't die. You'll encounter a lot of moments like this throughout an Akumu playthrough. I can guarantee you that, and it can be really frustrating.
Sebastian!
Are you guys alright?
We're all right.
Just a few bumps, we're fine.
Alright, we're about to go on our second date with the lovely Laura, but first there are some more regular enemies. Fortunately there are corpses on the ground, so you can just burn the living ones when they walk over them. Of course, the finicky nature of this game determines how much range the fire has and whether or not you need to finish the job with your gun. Okay, Laura is going to appear here, but instead of running away, quickly open the locker and do a quick melee attack. Otherwise that bird will start flying around with the statue holding the key. Also, you don't need to light that oil puddle, because Laura will ignite it herself. So just stand back and watch the show. You'll be burning her more than enough in a minute.
Fire seems to work.
So the fight against Laura is in principle not that difficult, it's just that the timing of when you should burn the corpse where she spawns from is, well, like everything in this game, it's rather inconsistent. But basically what you need to do is to move from corpse to corpse and just drop a match as soon as she spawns. Now you won't always be able to do so, but if you follow the same route as me, you'll pick up a torch to manually burn her. And you can burn her by dropping her in the furnace as well. In fact, you can do that twice, but kind of to my surprise, she was already dead before I even needed to do that. So basically there are more opportunities to burn her than are necessary, even on this difficulty. So here you see how unreliable this whole match dropping mechanic actually is. Good thing I was holding the torch. I was literally surprised that she died already. I expected that I needed to drop her in this furnace as well. I guess that in my previous playthrough I just fucked up too many match throws. Okay, final section of this chapter. 3 bodies will fall down from the bathtubs and you can't kill them. You need to remove those tubes from the backs of their heads. So if you just put a shock bolt in the middle, you can quickly take care of at least 2 of them. And if you were faster than me or have your shock bolt upgraded, you would probably have enough time for the 3rd one as well. The Agni crossbow truly is a tool of all trades. Alright, that was chapter 5, however chapter 6 is going to be a lot more difficult. In fact, the first section is one of the hardest parts in the game. So stay tuned, leave a like and make sure to hit that subscribe button.